Hey everybody, welcome to our show. This is Talk Social News Friday edition. This is the show where we do a week wrap up of social media and live streaming, where we try to make news relevant for your brand and business. Guys, welcome to our show. Can't wait for what we have in store. I did a couple last minute changes to mix it up a little bit. I have not even had anywhere near the right amount of coffee to do this kind of a show. But make sure that if you guys are watching this show, thank you for everybody that is watching us right now. If you would you share the show out? That's something that I know that I have to do. But I want to say thank you. Hey, hi to Kathleen. And let's see, Anna, thank you for joining us today. I appreciate it. I hope you guys I just hope you are enjoying our show this morning. So if you don't mind, I'm actually going to share this out right now. I shared in a couple of places. Some of them go automatically. I don't know. Do you guys, does anybody have a system where they're able to do that, where it just shares their show automatically to maybe it's a Facebook page or something like that? How many of you guys actually do that? I found that to be an automation that's a big time saver, because it's something that I would do manually. And so that to me is a good use of what automation is. Hey guys, this morning, this is the November 10th this morning. And we've got a few things going on this week. How do you like that? We're already into this week. This week in Talk Social News, this is we did our Monday edition, and then on Tuesday I had the ability to do. I was the host. I was the guest host, and I did a quick app review. And I know I say app. It's not an app like on your phone, but it is a cloud app. It's called Zoomf, and I did a kind of the overall walkthrough just to get the feel of the app, to look to see what it can do, and just it's like the first peek at the experience of what Zoomf is, and all the analytics and all that, and how it actually helps me better understand the story that I need to tell to my audience. Because it's what they're also looking for, and help connecting those two. Because sometimes it is not the fact that you have an audience, it's trying to find an audience that loves your story, because everybody loves something. Come on, let's think about it like that, right? So this past week I did a walkthrough for on stream for Zoomf. And we got that look in, and I hope that it helped you. And the one thing I really want to make sure you, that from my experience that I pulled away, it was automatically that when I had a problem, I reached out through their customer service, and I thought it was longer, and I was wrong. It was within 5 minutes. I had an email back with a solution, and I was blown away. To be honest, I was blown away. So thank you, Ted, over at Zoom. You did make it quite a bit easier. In addition to that, what else do we do? All right. This coming week in Let's Live Stream. Last week we had this past week we had just a technical problem. We weren't able to make the show fully happen and get broadcast out, so we rescheduled the show. So I don't have any highlights to talk about from this last week, other than, you know what, you learn from things that when they go bad, or when they're not going the right way. Then that's basically what I've got from that. But this coming week, we're going to be talking about promoting your live stream. I want to hear from you what you guys think is important, how you promote it, or maybe some of the things that you hate when you see people promoting their live stream. Are they spamming you? Is it too much? Do you see the same thing on every single channel and every single platform? Are the graphics tacky like this one? What I want to hear from you guys, what you think is the best and worst of it. And I mean, you don't have to name names, but I would be interested to know what you guys do think about it. And I do want to encourage you guys to join us Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern time. You can catch us live on this channel, on whatever channel you're actually watching this right now. And we also do this live as a Twitter chat. And so Really, I want to encourage you guys for that. So that is the Talk Social news, kind of in review and a little bit ahead for the for the shows that VitMug puts on. And I want to encourage you guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I do actually see every single. I still. We're still small enough. I get the emails that say, "Hey, this person subscribed, that person subscribed." So thank you very much. And maybe I'll do like a call out. But if you guys haven't already, you can go over to YouTube and just type in VitMug. You'll see our infamous mug right there. And you guys will be able to, if you would, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it, because guess what? I kind of like. I kind of like our shows and the things that we do. So what else do we have here? So those were the shows that we've done. But let's see. Anyway, I want to say, oh, hey, Terry, I want to go look up Sonia. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. I really appreciate it. Hey, over on Periscope, I see you, Gail, and monetize your show. And you know what? I always like to go over and check, because we don't have the viewership on YouTube yet, and this is being pretty transparent. So it's really more a challenge to be able to try to maintain and just keep the views, and to be able to. It's just another channel to monitor and stuff like that. So, all right. Hey, Melissa Reyes, thank you for joining us this morning. I really do hope, and I mean this very sincerely, we've had some technical difficulties this past week between broadcasting out and some things like this. I think we fixed it. I hope that we fixed it, because guess what? No one likes to deal with technical difficulties again and again and again. All right. So having said that, guys, let's get right into some of the some of the news portion of what we've done. And this was, I'm probably going to get some flack for doing some of these graphics, not because it's an awful thing or anything like that. It's not my point. But it's more of that I didn't send my graphics through the right channels of approval. I don't know. Maybe that's an okay thing. But in the U.S. here, by the way, yeah, that was the mug shot for the day. One of the things that I do want to say that in the U.S. and for those of you guys that are watching in the U.S. or even around the world, you can appreciate what that today is Veterans Day, and this is not everybody in the world celebrates this, but it's one of the things that we do. We celebrate the sacrifice that a lot of the veterans have made, and so my heart goes out to you and the families that also go through, and they're also the ones that are helping support our armed forces. And oftentimes when it comes to veterans, there's a lot of the missed opportunities to reach out and say thank you, and to recognize the service, both past and the present. So for that, happy Veterans Day. Hope you guys have a very safe weekend. All right. So having said that, let's see here. We've got a couple of pieces of news. Okay. Which one? I'm trying to. Boy, this is. I always put these in a certain order, and if you guys don't know this, like I do have the show scripted out, and I always put these in a certain order. But then when it actually comes to showtime, I always mess up the order, because it just doesn't feel right in the middle of the show. So the first one up, let's do this, and I'm gonna get my I'll get my article up. If you guys don't already know, Instagram. You guys know that I love Instagram. It's out there. It's one of those things that I like to do. I've been posting a lot more, and we're going to get into some of the other features that we talk about. But Instagram just did a couple really kind of cool things that I really I like. Lately they've put out their polls and things like this. We're actually going to talk about that, with the stories now. And then I think last week we talked about how Instagram is allowing you to connect your profile in the Instagram so that so that when you can post, it's the same story. And then it's also, that feature has actually also been released over to fan pages, and that was a while ago, but you needed a business account and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot more of this integrating, going back and forth. But Instagram now removes the 24-hour recent requirements for photos and videos, meaning, okay, that people can now upload any photo or video from their phones, from that camera roll. You know how before it was restricted? Well, now it's no longer restricted. And so what we see is that when Instagram launches its version of this Snapchat-esque stories, and this was, if you can believe this, I'm going to tell you the number, August of 2016. Okay, people could post any picture that they had taken, they'd save their phone, but it had to be within 24 hours. And now Facebook, this is doing that similar thing where they're saying, you know what, we need to be able to allow people to take any photos, because I think what Facebook and Instagram are realizing is that we're telling stories not with just pictures we just took. We're telling stories with what we're thinking about and what we're experiencing. So and plus, I mean, there were workarounds for it, so it wasn't a guarantee this photo has been taken within the last 24 hours. It was, they were doing their best. But I think what's happened is that opening up stories to full photo and video libraries, it's going to make it easier for people to fill up their stories, but could also result in maybe stories feeling a little bit less in the moment. But I think that is really up to the storyteller, not just the story watcher. I don't know how many of you guys are doing, actually have or use Instagram stories, because I do. Hey, Johnny, it's good to see you. Ed, I'm glad. Thank you guys for joining us. If you don't already, you guys can follow me on Instagram and see some of the stupid stuff that I do on my stories. Sometimes you get a little bit of rants. Sometimes you get a little bit of more. That's more of my behind the scenes stuff. And I like to do it that way because it provides, usually the content there is something you're not going to get from anywhere else. And for me, that makes it a lot more fun. And I don't know if other people feel that way or not. But that's how I like to tell stories. I don't travel the world. I'm not speaking up on, keynote speaking on stages and stuff like this. But I think there's also a lot of that, and that's not necessarily what people really are looking for anymore. So one of the next ones that I wanted to talk about was Facebook. Now, it's not Facebook VR, Oculus. I know the graphics there, but I put this graphic up because it was either that or it was going to be the one where everybody's like looking down at their phones. Maybe that was a little bit more appropriate. I don't know. But what I wanted to bring up was the Facebook. It's expanding its markets. Okay. Facebook is no longer just a people-to-people connector. Sharing your videos in your, with your families and maybe connecting with some people at work and things like this, or, finding the gang from high school that you used to hang out with, and now you're, now it's something else, and, talking to people. But no. Facebook now is expanding beyond this. It's now getting to housing rentals. Okay, many of you guys know about the marketplace, but today Facebook announced it's expanding its marketplace listing section to include hundreds of thousands, quote unquote, of housing rentals in a move that seems clearly designed to take on Craigslist. Craigslist, now you're in the sights of Facebook. But so while users before could post their own apartment listings to this section, Facebook says it's now partnering with sources, things like Zumper and Apartment List, trying to pull these listings in. So it is an integrated feature. It's not just Facebook internally coming up with all these listings and all this. They're actually doing these partners, and they're working also with some brokers and agents and property managers to fill out the expanding housing section. Okay, the search though Searching will be able to, you'll be able to filter the housing listings via like maybe a number, some different options, things like location, some price, maybe the rental type. And actually, I know a lot of people are thinking that this is actually pointed towards Craigslist, and I do think that that this is the immediate application. I actually see this being in a longer term, a real competition to Airbnb. Because where people are already connected on Facebook, now adding an Airbnb component may be the next step that they want to take. So because Facebook is always about bringing together more opportunities for them to serve you ads, and the longer they can keep you in the platform, everybody, remember this. This is always going to be the case. As long as they can continue to serve their ads to you, then guess what? That's what they're going to do. Okay, because for them, it only makes more sense that that they can serve you more ads. And I don't want to get, this is not a super technical critique of it, but what I do see is that what Facebook is trying to do is that they're actually, I think if I was to talk about a community, they are trying to create a digital community that they can monetize. And I know all the other critiques and all the other, like, their data mining, they're partnering with this and they're colluding with Russians and for ads, or they're allowing. These are all the result of their main focus, which I think is to actually create a digital community. And there is a lot to be said for this. It is a hard thing to do. This is not easy. It's not anything that I would pretend that we could just do and just fix overnight or quickly. Terry Johnson, thank you. Feds move the observation. Okay. Yeah, okay, to work before and after. Okay. Just catching up on some of the Periscope comments, you guys. In all truth, I mean, I don't want you guys to think that like I hate Facebook, because I don't. I actually really like it. Johnny says over on Facebook says, trying to conquer the world. No, I don't think they're trying to conquer the world. I think they're trying to monetize the world. Let's see here. Anyway, so let's keep going. Oh, Anna, that's really great. So not yet, but maybe a TED Talk could be a thing that could be an opportunity that might set you up someday. I would be very interested in doing a TED Talk. Although I'd be honest with you, like, I think the application process would probably actually make me more nervous than actually doing the event. William, thank you for joining us. It's great to see you, man. Thanks for joining us. And Terry says, no, so this is the irony of, so Terry Johnson, she just says, on Periscope, by the way, she says, I'm not a fan of Facebook, which I actually think is more funny, not because she said it, but because she said it on Periscope, watching the show. So I think there's a lot of irony, and I appreciate that. I actually really do. I think that's actually quite funny. This was an article that I found. That, again, this is about Facebook, and I don't want to get stuck in Facebook or thinking it. But this is the headline that I read. It says Facebook announces community boost local training sessions for small business and workers. So Facebook has been holding half-day and day-long digital marketing training sessions called Boost Your Business for small businesses over the past several years. Well, today the company is announcing expanding the program called for that same group called Facebook Community Boost. Okay, the company says that the intention is to help U.S. small businesses grow and equip more people with digital skills they need to compete in the new economy. Now, given the fact that Facebook is actually shaping this new economy with their tools and with their opportunities and with their advertisement plans, I do think it's kind of interesting that they're the ones that are going to be hosting this. But the curriculum, it hasn't been fully written out or worked out. But the early program, the Boost Your Business program, has reportedly been able to train and reach over 60,000 U.S. small businesses, probably also medium-sized businesses. Along with today's announcement, though, Facebook released some survey data on small businesses. So get this right, 70% of small and medium-sized businesses say Facebook helps them attract customers. That's interesting. 56% say they increased sales by using Facebook. I think that's also an interesting statistic. but 42% say that they hired more people because of the success resulting from Facebook. And those are really that's some really great numbers that Facebook has been able to probably cherry pick and put forward to show that how great Facebook is and that they should continue to do this. And I won't get too much more into where I think maybe those numbers are either doctored or very selectively pulled out, because you know what I mean. I think we're actually to the point where not using Facebook could actually be a detriment. It's kind of like not having it's kind of like not having a website or not having a social presence. That's actually kind of screws everything up for you. I think it actually detracts what you should be, you know, where you should be going in your social plan. All right. So we've talked about that. We've talked about this. All right. Hey, so the two things, and we're going to talk about the sad news first, and then we'll kind of talk about maybe some of the kind of cool news. But with Twitter, let's talk about this. The Twitter app. What is this? This is the verification, okay? And this stemmed from earlier in the week, and this is not I want to highlight this because this is what's going on. Twitter is going through really an identity crisis. And the problem is that Twitter has to fix their verification, okay? And I think the graphic did come up, I think, right? Yeah. So this is getting a verified account. Okay, that's some of the problem that Twitter's been having. Okay, and I think when Jack Dorsey, CEO, founder, co-founder of Twitter, when he says the system is broken, and I think he's known that. I think he kind of came back with this mindset of trying to fix it, and then lately they've been doing a lot of this. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, where putting together a timeline and a calendar list to be held accountable, to be able to say, look, we're going to try to fix these, and these are the things we're going to be doing. But wasn't it this past week that somebody from, I think, the Charlottesville, like one of the activists or one of the leaders of the hate groups, his account was verified. And if I remember right, I thought verification was supposed to be kind of like this really great thing. It was supposed to be, hey, this is recognizing somebody that's doing a really good job, and that, you know, and here we are. Here we have somebody that's really probably not really a great person, and their account gets verified. I know a couple of weeks ago we saw that somebody had deleted the real Trump account for a couple minutes and things like this. But here's the problem, right? I think when it becomes just simply a set of metrics, because I've applied to get a verified account. I can't get a verified account yet, so I had to wait, and I was like, I'll try again in a little bit. I'm not gonna. To me, honestly, like it doesn't bother me one way or the other. But I think what a lot of people are saying is that the problem is that that when you're verifying somebody's account, you need to actually verify that they're legit, that it's not hate, that they're not violating other terms of service on the within Twitter. And I think that's exactly the case. And I am not a big fan of just simply allowing automation software to dictate with these kinds of things, because until the automation software can actually dictate what hate speech is, and where it is and where it comes from, then we need to take a step back. We need to really be thinking about that. So guys, I told you that was the negative news. They need to get their act together. I think they're doing that. Now, I bring up this so that we can kind of move in a more positive message here. And this is the Twitter 280. How many of you guys even know what I'm talking about? All right. How many of you guys even know what we're talking about today? Because here's the thing, right? Twitter 280, and we'll be talking about this here shortly, right? Twitter 280. I have done one tweet with 280 characters, or close, or maybe it's over the previous limit, which is half that. They doubled the tweet maybe is. That's one. I think that's one of them I saw, one of the hashtags I saw. Yeah, so this week, Twitter announced that it is allowing tweets to be much longer. Alfredo Tigolo, and Alfredo, I'm so sorry. I did not grab the graphic that you tagged me in, along with Val Kilmer and Michael Keaton. So I thought that was actually kind of fun and very cute. Being able to do that. You're talking about Batman in the 280. What are you guys going to do with 280 characters? Is this going to ruin is this going to ruin Twitter? I don't know. I mean, I'd be very shocked to see everybody all of a sudden now needing now all of a sudden their tweets are really long. And some people even say, I will never use the 280 as a kind of like that badge of their Twitter OG. Okay, and I think that's what I say, that we're kind of joking, we kind of have fun with it, and I like the fact that we have a little bit of that room, because sometimes. Just because you have 280 characters, I'm just going to say it like this, you don't need 280 characters. I'm just saying, okay? So how many of you guys actually use or plan to be using 280 characters now that you have it? I'd be pushed to say that most of us need to do this. Guys, this just gives us a little bit more room to say our message and to share it. I think that's the truth, okay? Read into it what you want. I'm excited to see how this is going to go. Twitter OG, that's right. All right, so that's that. And I know that was announced earlier this week. Man, I got to go through. This is like so. I told you I did these out of order. How awesome is that? All right, so another really and how do you guys like my do you like the colors on these? Because these did not go through the board the approved graphics channels. So I just made these and posted them. All right, it is also very similarly offensive color scheme. I wanted to talk about this real quick. How many of you guys know Snapchat had a very bad week? I mean, like a really bad week. They're having, I mean, it's been losing, like, I mean, they're losing their head of engineering. Their stock price is dipping. I mean, they're making Twitter look good. I mean, that's how bad this is, right? So one of the things that I think very much like when something's going wrong, when Twitter was having all these problems with, hate speech and all this, they announced the release of different features. And I don't want to say that they're like, hey, look at this over here, so that nobody can see all the bad stuff that's going on over here. I'm not going to be so bold or to assume that that's the case, although it kind of looks like it, right? In this case, what's going on is that Snapchat has decided that, you know what? This app is too complicated, and it started when they had their IPO and their release, and when they had to when they made the release, they also with it put a short manual on how to use the app, because it wasn't intuitive for a vast majority of those that were investors. It's not that intuitive. You can't say an app is intuitive if you really need a detailed manual on how to use it. All right. But Snapchat, because they know that there's a problem, I mean, they've got what I know it was like a $20 million, or was it a $60 million the spectacles, the glasses, and they've just got warehouses full of these because they just never really sold like they were hoping, right? Well, Snapchat is probably going to get an overhaul, and it says maybe this is going to help save them. I don't think that an overhaul on the platform is going to help save. That's not what's going on. And I know a lot of people are using the platform less and less because of that. And if we're getting into really what's going to save Snapchat, I want to dare say it's not just simply an overhaul of the infrastructure. It's not simply just making the maybe I just, all I did in the graphic, I just changed it from yellow to blue. I mean, does that make the app redesign? Maybe instead of swiping, maybe they're going to start using like face recognition, or maybe they're going to do like a tap system. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, is that really the fundamental problem that Snapchat is having? No, it's not. The problems are deeper. I think maybe making it a little bit easier to navigate would be helpful, but I don't think that's going to be the saving grace for this. All right. So keep an eye out. I know that they are doing some changes. I hope that, I'll be honest with you, I hope, if there was one thing I wish that they could do, I wish that they would make the app safer to use for its users. I think there's too much, it's too easily able to bully, for predators, there's too easy tracking. I hate the geo tracking filter, and I know you can turn it on and off. Some people still don't know about it. I actually hate it. I think it's a really bad, and the way that they implemented it, I think that it shouldn't be an auto on. I think it should be an auto off. All right. And Snapchat, again and again, I think comes out and it is a platform that's too easily taken advantage of. And maybe in concept, in a really great world, a lot of those things would be great. But guess what? That's just not the fact. And I think that they need to be responsible and come up with better safeguards. And that's going to take some brain thought. It's gonna require a little bit more going about it in finding how can we protect our users and make it a safer place for them to use. All right. Having said that, one last piece, and this is for all of you that maybe are using SoundCloud. How many of you guys know that SoundCloud they've had a really tough run this past summer, financially speaking? All right, SoundCloud, they had done. I mean, let's see here. So SoundCloud, they had another round of funding and got about another 170 million. Okay, now the new CEO, Carrie Trainer, this is I think this is what's interesting. Formerly of Vimeo. Okay, Trainer now announced the newest addition to the platform. It's increasing the playlist statistics for artists, because if we don't already know that that artists, at least for SoundCloud, they're the bread and butter for what makes SoundCloud right. But it is also a great place to post your podcast. And that's kind of the reason why I brought it in. Is SoundCloud, I mean, we've been hearing stories. I mean, I could probably go back in archives and say like a year ago, I could probably pull out something that says, like, hey, SoundCloud's going to go out of business, because they really are. They're teetering right on that edge of not being able to have a sustainable model. And it's really hard for them. Okay. And so if you're going to be using SoundCloud, just make sure that's not the only place you're going to put maybe your podcast out. If you're an artist, make sure it's not it's going to be it's another place that you can post. It's not the only place you would post. Okay. I know a number of larger, more popular podcasters post there. If you're using Audacity, not Audacity, if you're using Anchor, you can edit your I was thinking podcast editing, but you can use you are able to take your podcast and transfer it between Anchor and SoundCloud, and I think that's a great feature. That I love the integration for it. But guess what? If the app or if the cloud platform is not going to be there anymore because they've run out of money, well, guess what? You're going to probably lose all your stuff, and it's going to go away very quickly. And I don't think we all want that to happen. But so that's SoundCloud. Keep an eye out for it. I know I will, because I don't want to see the platform go away. I enjoy listening to a lot of the music, and I have donated in the past or helped with giving services because I use the platform. Last but not least, and this is important. How many of you guys are aware that we may be entering yet a new era of live streaming? Apparently, the only way that we're able to pay attention to a zoo is by watching this giraffe. April the giraffe might be pregnant again. So are we going to be seeing more live videos, continuous looping, unending? I mean, I really like. this is like the paparazzi for animals in zoos. I mean, I can't. It felt like 50 years that this animal was pregnant, and is this where we're at with live streaming? Is this what saves live streaming? I mean this very sincerely. I really hope not, because this is going to be awful if we have to watch this again. And not that the April itself is bad. I just don't want to be strung along. I mean, my heart can't take this anymore. I mean, it's just tell me when. I just want to see one more tweet. Baby was born, and then we'll move on. So anyway, having said that, guys, that was the news that was the news I scraped high and low. I think I got everything in there. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, I've gone through my list. I mean, maybe that's really sad. I don't know. Maybe that is a sad thing that's all the news. But guess what? In about 10 minutes from the end of this broadcast, yeah, actually less than 10 minutes, we're going to be going live over on David Vaughn. We're going to be having our after chat there. The after chat, enough with the hack, episode 17 in hashtag 3E. And we're going to be going live. And I did pin the post in the Facebook, and that is, let me see if I can just grab it. And I'll put it up with over there. But it is, what is the link? The link is fblive.davidvaughn.live. And we're going to be going over there. This is where David and I, this week, we're trying a little bit different format. We're going to be going back and forth with some articles. These are not, I picked two, what I thought are groundbreaking, earth-shattering, name-changing articles. And that, if you haven't already, you can join us in about 10 minutes, probably even less than that. But guys, I really appreciate it. I guess I hope that you are able to join us next week. We do have three. We have got another 3 shows, not including this one, coming up next week from VitMug. VitMug is a full-service digital production and consulting company. I don't know if you know that. And we also do graphic design. We do live and post-production services for audio and video. So we help you with your live content as well as helping you repurpose it, which is really important when you're producing content, because you don't want to make content once and put all the effort into it. Let's help you get your message in front of your audience. Go over to vitmug.com, see some of the new stuff that we're doing, and also make sure that if you haven't already, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just go over to and search for VitMug on YouTube. We're the only one out there, at least for now, until we get some real great followers. Having said that, guys, I appreciate it. I love to see you guys hanging around. Did I miss any news? If I missed something, you need to tell me. You need to message me. Let me know. It's like, John, you missed this. Anyway, so let's see here. For those of you guys that stuck around, David Vaughn, I see you. Terry, Anna, Melissa, it's great. Thank you guys for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Being able to connect with you guys. It is so much fun, honestly, being able to do this show. Prepping for it, it takes a little bit of time, but guess what? It's so much fun to be able to do it and be able to connect with all of our friends and being able to share it out. So, with that, I don't know. I've got all this coffee over here. And so we're getting ready. We should be doing this a little bit more often. But we're going to be doing another show in about 5 minutes. So guys, I can't wait to see you there. Join me. I will share it out from my broadcast end. And we'll see you guys there. So anyway, guys, have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. I will see you Monday with our Monday edition as we kick our week off. Countdown to Black Friday and Thanksgiving. All right, guys, we'll see you then. Take care.